All right, what about now? Let's try this. I think that might be it. Oh my God, are we finally got audio? We finally have audio?
Well, let me close it out.
Let's try it again. We finally have audio. Do we finally have audio? Do we finally have audio? Do we finally have audio?
Josh said yes.
Yes! Oh! All right! Josh, turn that off. All right! Now we're live. Here we go. I hope somebody's still watching, and I apologize for the technical difficulty. I'm probably Jimmy if you're watching. Sorry, Jimmy, I just figured out. Let me see if I can call in Jimmy here. So we are live with the Spruce Pine election results. Let me see if I can get Jimmy, and then we'll go over. Jimmy, if you're watching out there, pal, I think I can get you back on the Zoom call now, finally. This was a stupid mistake on my part, and I apologize. All right. Good deal. All right. So, we were getting some results. If you want to check the election, so we've been updating the official election. See what was, don't have this yet, according to you let me know if you see something else. But we've got some unofficial reports here that I think have made their way around. It appears as if the three gentlemen, Philip, Rocky, and Wayne, have taken the election. Unofficial results, a total of 577 votes at the town of Spruce Pine. Phil Heiss for mayor with 418 votes. Lynn Holler with 155 votes. Looks like Rocky Buchanan with 398 votes. And the next closest would be Sharon McIntosh with 154 votes. And then Wayne Pate with 298 votes versus Kim Hagman at 148 votes. So I think Jimmy's going to be hopping on here, and I think we can make this work now. But yeah, I don't see anything just yet. Do you? We got Laura here. Laura's here. Hello. So obviously this was a real hot button election. I think, in my estimation, sometimes when there's hot button elections, people show up, and I think this will probably go down as one of the more, surprisingly enough, even though there's close to 2,200 people in the town of Spruce Pine. I believe that 577 total votes will probably go down as one of the bigger elections around here. So that's saying something that this dribble out. I think sometimes when, obviously there was a group that were pushing the three women, I think sometimes making it so in your face almost has the opposite effect.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it drives turnout, and I think people will show up just to oppose that. I am a little, I'll just go ahead and be 100% honest with you. I am a little surprised that Philip Heiss was the top vote getter. So obviously there were people that voted. There were people that voted for both. Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah.
So you got Philip at 418, Rocky 398, and Wayne 298. There's a 100 vote difference between Rocky and Wayne, which I think still goes to show you that, you know, the local boys still kind of own the day.
Tried, true, and trusted.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So Wayne is still, you know, he's not from around here, as they say. But I do think Wayne gained himself. He garnered himself some votes at the candidate forum. I will say that.
That was a great turnout. And he really, I think, really pulled in a lot of people to him that were kind of wondering,
right,
what's his background? What is he for? What is he against? And the way, you know, the forum went, I think they got all their answers and more from him.
I think so too. But it goes to show you that the local, you know, the local stalwart vote is still there. It's still there, especially when it's challenged. And you can think of that, you can do with that or think of that whatever you'd like to think of it, but it's still there. I think is what it says. This is honestly quite surprising to me.
And now is this the final?
Yeah, this is the final. So, I'm honestly a little surprised that I went into this thinking that there might be a possibility that Wayne gets the most votes. I think he did very well at the candidates forum. I don't know how many people saw that video, but I think that the general consensus at that forum was that Wayne really did well by himself. I figured there would be a little bit. Okay, I see. So Wayne just had a correction. So hold on, let me see. Let's see. Okay. Jay, if you're out there, but you let me know when you want to join, because I can get you on here. Honestly, probably should send it to Josh as well. Poor old Josh. The reason we're having to go this to begin with here is that Josh he's accepted a new job at Svelco in the lab, and I think they're about to kill him. I think they're about to kill him. So shout out Josh. I hope he's having a restful evening, a restful time. So, we need to get it. Pardon the phone here, folks. Give me a sec. So, again, Philip, 418, Philip Highs, 418, Rocky Cannon, 398, Wayne, 398, Lynn Holler, 155, Ken Hagerman, 158, and Sharon at 154. Those numbers at the bottom honestly surprised me a little bit too, because I had heard rumblings sort of through the background. Believe it or not, there are some analytical people involved in this.
Really?
Yes. And it seemed like anybody had a chance for ladies that was going to be Hageman.
Have they been involved in previous years before this one?
No, they have not. But she had a not good online presence. She got a little speedy, which is surprising. Yeah, again, those are unofficial results. Those are not the official results, so we'll see what we've got. Most of the people that were involved on both sides of this, I think Blocker and some people was crazy for a local election. I heard that this was around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I ended up with 5 10. So, again, I think it's great that everybody turns out to vote. But every voice I heard, I think it's great.
It's doing that weird pauses.
Oh, okay. I can't do anything about that. Sorry for the lag, guys, if you're thinking. Let's see if we can get in here.
Oh, then it's trying to catch itself up and it's doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's going to create a bunch of feedback for them, so.
I was just...
Interested to get Wayne's thoughts, and then we might give a candidate to if Paul wants to get official results in. Let's see if we can check the election page one more time. Still doesn't seem to be anything. I know the Bakersville town election was not a contested one. You're basically voting for 2 of 2. But little interested to see where that landed, just in terms of numbers. I was kind of curious to see whether the Spruce Pine election would push the Bakersville election forward. So I know obviously we've got the county board elections coming up in another, I believe, 2 years. Or that may even be next year. I think it's next year.
Is it next year?
Yeah, I believe it is next year. Sorry, this is a little bit of one of those things, folks, where you have to refresh to see what you can see. I'm sort of curious as to whether there were any write-in candidates as well.
Yeah, I'm also really interested.
Which the Board of Elections will tell that as
Yeah.
well, which is sometimes is part of the reason it takes a while for them to get their stuff updated.
Sorry, Mom's texting me too.
Still got Halloween decorations outside. That's what you're hearing.
No, I just saw her bolt across.
Oh, Harper?
Our door's shut and she bolted. Yeah.
You're probably getting
Oh,
something.
Mom said it's good now.
Okay.
So we're
Good.
back in business.
All right. Good deal.
I'll tell her to keep me updated.
All right. Jimmy, I know why it would be dropping in and out, but all right. Five premier fills in there. King Heyman and Sharon McIntosh, 148 and 154 respectively. So basically, oh, here we go. Now we got Jimmy. Let's see if we can get Jimmy up here. So, yes. All right. I'm here. Right. And Jimmy. Sometimes I will do that. That's right. See if I can start my video in the Jeez, I don't know what deal is there. Well, anyway, you're on the stream. You're on the stream.
Video stream is too much.
No, it's not too much. I think it's just an audio connection issue. So I think you're good. Why don't you tell us your thoughts on what happened tonight, Jimmy?
You know, I'm not surprised. It is actually what I anticipated to happen. It's just unfortunate, though, because I do believe that some of the candidates would have performed better if they hadn't aligned themselves with certain ideals. Mm-hmm. So I do like, though, that so many people came out to vote and to speak, and the fact that it got this much attention is a great outcome.
I think so, too. Now, it is quite surprising to me, Jimmy. I don't know about you, but, I mean, we're talking about we're at Rocky and Wayne both at 398. And Kim and Sharon at basically right around 150. I mean, that's like a 250 vote. Or 150 vote. Yeah. Like shellacking. Does that surprise you at all?
No, just for the same reasons. I mean, this community has always been very tight-knit, and I do think that a lot of folks, I don't know, set in their ways is not the word I'm going for, but I think people are more often to stay with what they know, what they trust. I do think that everybody does see that there's a need for change in the town, and I do believe that the fact that we had so many people show up and the deficit being that large just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, I hear you. It sort of surprises me that's what I was telling Laura, is that it seems like the local hometown boy vote is still there and strong, very strong.
It is, and I think that's critical because it really comes down to, how do I say this? We all know that we need to do a lot of work around town. This ain't brand new. Most of us are born and raised here. But that doesn't mean we want somebody to come in here with a light switch and make changes. We need a little bit more of a dimmer approach where you take your time and bring in progress, not change. There's a big difference there because I don't think anyone wants to lose our mountain culture, our values, all the things that we hold dear. I do think that we all want progress, and I think that that's the shift in conversation we need to have. Is we don't need to change. We don't. Not everything is broken, but everything has room for improvement.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jimmy. You know, honestly, it surprised me a little bit that there wasn't more of a push for the new, progressive type of, thing or whatnot. But I don't know. I think that in a lot of ways, I think some of that got exposed a little bit. at the end of this, I think when you start such a fuss like that group of people did, that you drive turnout on the other side. That's what I was telling Laura. I think you turnout ends up becoming a
because I think that the behind candidates were so outspoken with so much hate and so much disrespect and so much negativity that impacted candidates votes their own field.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I think that I don't know. I think the very fine line between drawing attention for your candidacy and drumming up so much stuff that you end up turning opposition. I think we got some. We've actually got it from the election board here.
I'm looking at it right now. There's 613 total ballots out of 1,811 potential. And it's like one by two write-ins. I would love to know who write-ins were. And Rucky and Wade, that's like they're got 1,440 runs. Social media does not have the impact that people think when it comes to the results. I think that getting out and meeting with people face to face in these small communities and letting them get to know who you are, that's what it's about. I don't think social media has any value in this local election. This community's too small.
I don't think so either.
People is what really comes down to.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to too. And I think you have to really get in people's faces. I honestly do. I think that's just the bottom line of it. I'm trying to pull up this website here. Just give me just 1 second so we can put a visual on here for the people. 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'll also say, too, that getting in front of people doesn't mean a sign or a face. It means actually you go old school around here, door to door, and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, this is what I represent. I struggled with finding out what anybody represented, to be honest, because we never had any questions that I saw position that people answered. Even the articles in the paper, everybody's answering the same two questions, which there's value in that, but they all pretty much agree. So,
I know. And I do think it's a shame. I honestly do think it's a shame, Jimmy, that we did not have a in-person like debate. I really do. I think that's a shame.
I think that's what hurt people too, because they didn't take the opportunity to get in front of people and speak. And I think that if you're seeking a public office and you don't choose to engage with the public, that sends a message in and of itself.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm glad that I'm on the screen. This is a. So I can make this a little bigger here because it's not showing. Cutting nothing. Bakersville, Charles Nash, 21 votes. Allen Levis at 17 votes. Narrowly missing beating Allen or tying him at 16 votes. So we had a write-in candidate. Yeah. I mean, that goes to show you on an off year in a very small town like Bakersville, he could have very easily, two more people, and he would be on the town council instead of Allen. So
it also tells you that if Shane had not gone as a write-in, that Allen likely would have won.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But Philippi 72. Yeah. Philippi 72.7%. If somebody would have told me that Philip was going to take 75% of the vote or close to it, I would not have believed them before this. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't have. That's surprising to me. But anyway, Jimmy, any other thoughts?
I did like that Lynn posted on there, and full disclosure, we go to church with Lynn. She did post and congratulate everybody's winning, and she had an important comment that I really liked. It said, look forward to helping us fill our community. And I really did enjoy and appreciate her making that statement. I think there's a lot less healing to be done in the community, as much as there is. Folks need to stop being dissuaded by negative people on the internet. I think it's far more important. One takeaway that I learned from this, embraced from this whole process, was talk to people, don't talk at people. And I think that we have learned the Bakersville vote proves this. Your vote 100% matters. You think about this: if literally two people have made a vote in a different direction, it could have been a completely different outcome. It would have been a tie. If two people that voted for Charlie Nash voted for Alan Blevins, they would have tied. Two people changing their vote.
Dude,
So,
listen. On the last election, Jimmy. Now, granted, this was an unopposed election, much like what you had in Bakersville tonight. 151 votes were cast the last time we had a municipal election in Spruce Pine. A total of 151. We had 577 tonight.
now that is the benefit of social media and the internet, because I think that called people to action.
Yeah.
And there is a benefit to that, but the outcome, it had very little to do with, because it calls everybody to action, right? You know, and that means that I think people kind of operating on status quo. This is the way things keep moving forward. Everything's fine. I don't have to vote. I know my person is going to get in. They went in to ensure it. Now, disclosure, I don't vote. I'm not in the city limits, so I didn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. But man, it's interesting. You're absolutely right. So just roughly 4 times the number of people that voted last time voted this time.
Yeah. And I have seen several of the women here. I was just looking online here. It looks like all of them. I haven't seen Sharon yet, but looks like all of them are calling for everybody to come together. And honestly, Jimmy, that's what I think we ought to do too. I think no matter
100%.
I think no matter what side you're on of this thing, we have got to lay aside our swords and figure out a way to move together as a community, man. I said this last night on my post, and I mean this, and I was talking about it with my oldest son, Dakota, today before we went and voted. This, by the way, this was Dakota's first time being able to vote. So he turned 18 in between the last election and this one, and it was really cool to get to take him to vote today and share that kind of civic duty with him. And I think he thought that was really cool. And the one thing I told him, you know, when we were on our way back, I said, you know, what people have to realize is that look back to the people that settled this area, Jimmy. There's no way that those people would have been able to survive if they did not come together. They relied on each other. That's really just
Agreed.
it. I mean, you would have never made it through the first winter here in these mountains if you couldn't come together and love each other and support each other. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. And I think that those values and those, we may all have we might all have different opinions. We might all have different views of the way things need to go. But at the end of the day, it's of the utmost importance that we come together and work together for what's the best for our town and what's the best for us, because we are the town. You know, it's the truth.
That's an important comment you made. We need those people that this is our town. We need to guide and lead our town and not be influenced by people who don't live in our town.
Amen. I think in that.
This is our town. It's not someone else's.
All right. Question of the night, Jimmy. Here we go. Last question. Do you think this was a vote against Mike Vance?
I think that it was a vote against. I don't think it's any one person. I think it's a message, a very clear message to everyone that, hey, we do have pride in our home. We do have value in our community, and we know we got a lot of problems. I don't think it's just I think the vote's far beyond just one person. I think it's more of the, call it the Asheville moving in, the outside world at large. I don't think you can assign it to just a person. I don't think that person helped, but I think it's more of a message of our community saying, "Hey, this is our home. We don't need people who don't live here. Shop here, have friends here, kids in school here, parents aging here." I think it's just more of a message like, yeah, we get it. We know we've got stuff we've got to do, but let us guide our own path. And it doesn't matter if you moved here from somewhere else. It doesn't matter if you were born and raised here. None of that was ever in question. That always bothered me. That's like, my parents aren't from here. My parents came here. I was born and raised here. My parents weren't. That doesn't mean that they don't celebrate. And my wife's not from here, but you would think that she's more from here than I am, to be honest. I'm definitely far more city oriented than she is. But long-winded answer to that, I think it was a message that this is our home. Let us take care of our own home.
I agree. And Laura's just sitting here saying, I'm not from here. And you're right. There's a lot of us.
Sure.
And people forget it's not just people that have recently moved here either. And, like people like Lynn and, I know Dory Settles. I've got to know, and one thing they did say that it's like I've enjoyed getting to know everybody. I really have enjoyed getting to know everybody, even if they were, somebody that I was opposed to or whatever. I will be honest with you. I've learned more about my community in the past. I think since we've been doing this podcast, Jimmy, and since we kind of got inadvertently involved in this whole thing, and I got inadvertently involved in it. You got inadvertently involved in. Josh did. Everybody did. Like, I've learned a lot about my community, and honestly, I can say that I love it more than ever. And I think now is the time when we would lay down our swords, come together. We've obviously got a lot of talent here, and we need to figure out ways that we can make inroads with one another and not tear each other to pieces. It just has to happen that way.
And I think that the vision is crystal clear now, that we recognize that we weren't fighting each other. People were directing us to fight each other. It's like having people were inciting the chaos and the division while other things were at play. I just think the beautiful thing is a lot of people learned about the voting process. A lot of young people actually were engaged in this. And like you said, through this podcast and all the issues, I've learned more in the past year about where I was born and raised than I learned when I was damn raised here.
I know.
You hit the nail on the head there.
It's crazy.
And it's great. Now, I am very excited about where we go, because there is a renewed interest in the community, and I think the town meetings are going to have more involvement for the community. I think we're going to have a lot more volunteers. We're already seeing an uptick in festivals and activities and things going on.
Let's go.
So that outcome is great.
I agree. How about you want to get some feedback from the candidates themselves?
I'd love to.
All right. Let's give Wayne a call real quick. See what he says.
Hey, Chase.
Hey, Wayne, we're live here.
Hey. Well, hello to the community of Hollercast.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think the people of Spruce Pine are to be congratulated, though, because they did the speaking today.
Yeah, I think they did, Wayne.
So,
what do you think? Any just general statement for the public at large here?
So I'm gonna say a couple of things. Number one, congratulations to everybody who won, and congratulations to the town of Spruce Pine. Your turning out and exercising your voice meant a lot to everybody that was there, everybody that was running. It's one of the more drama-free methods of letting your voice be known as our voting system, and I have gained a new respect for that approach, rather than all the drama mongering that goes on social media. There's really not a whole lot that can accomplish, but coming out and posting your vote can accomplish a lot, and I want to congratulate everybody for that. Secondly, I'd like to say that to everybody that was running, and I want to broaden that out to anybody who has been having conversations about the future of Spruce Pine. I want to be a person that's approachable and open to any idea whatsoever that would positively affect Spruce Pine in the long term. And so my DMs are open, my phone's available, I'm approachable on the street, and I'm hoping to I'm something or ask, and it's an easy thing. I'm working, and I'll be able to help in this way.
So, Frank, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care.
Have a great
All right. Yeah. Let's see if we make sure I got the right phone number here. Let's see. Come here. Rock, this is Chase. You're live. You're live on Hollercast. What's going on?
Oh, doing great.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Any thoughts for the public at large, Rocky, after this?
Well, God's good, and the politics all the way from the president down is so dirty anymore, and I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. None of us said a thing against those people, but they had plenty to say bad about us. But the truth's going to stand when nothing will. And as far as me and Philip and Wayne, I think we're going to be a great team.
I think so too.
And look forward to serving the people of Spruce Pine and, keeping their taxes low and their water and sewer affordable.
Absolutely, my friend. Any thoughts about just coming together after a contentious election like this, Rocky?
I don't have a thing against any of those people. I pray for them every day. And hopefully they can come together and work together.
Yeah. That's what they say, and I hope it's true.
Well, that's what we want.
Yep.
No hard feelings.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, congratulations to you, and get some well-deserved rest tonight.
Amen. Thank you, Chase.
All right, brother. See ya.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. And now, Mr. Heiss. Let's see what Mr. Heiss has to say here.
Has been forwarded to voicemail.
Whoops. I don't think that's the right number. Hold on. Doo-doo. All right.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. Person you're trying to reach is not available.
Uh-oh.
Tone.
We may not be able. I bet Philip's on his way home. Or he may have turned off his damn phone. And I wouldn't blame him. Let's try it one more time.
Call has been forwarded to.
Well, I'm sure everybody will hear from.
His phone could have died on him, too.
Yeah, it could have died on him. It definitely could have. Let's try him one more time. We'll give him a second.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Nah, doesn't look like it. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I bet he action plans come up this, and people, committees are formed, experts are hired, whatever it takes to solve these problems. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I couldn't agree with Wayne more during that candidates forum when he kept pushing it back on people. It's like, look, you present the ideas and we will support. That's what we're here for. To support entrepreneurial activity. And I think we've got a lot of that already. I really do. I think the town is headed in a great way. And we can come together. Let's foster that kind of entrepreneurial spirit in our town. That kind of because with entrepreneurial stuff comes creativity, which I think is what you have to have in order to be able to overcome some of the things that we have, like the seasonal nature of what we've got here. It has to be creative. It has to be real.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.